Johnny Depp was once adored by the public for his iconic roles and insane good looks. He is now receiving notice for a very other purpose. He contributed to numerous films, including Pirates of the Caribbean and Edward Scissorhands, which helped him become one of Hollywood's biggest performers. However, he lost his love despite his popularity. He experienced a number of negative events in his personal life, including failed relationships, professional losses, and that startling legal battle with his ex-wife Amber Heard. People assumed Johnny was finished, yet he returned with a fresh appearance, a different attitude, and an unmistakable quiet confidence. Come along as we examine Johnny Depp's remarkable transformation in greater detail and attempt to understand its implications. On June 9, 1963, Johnny Depp was born in Owensboro, Kentucky. He dreamed of playing the guitar after a difficult upbringing. He was the youngest and fourth child. His father, John Christopher Depp, was a civil engineer, while his mother, Janet Sue, worked as a waitress. Johnny's family moved frequently, so he didn't have a stable upbringing. They eventually relocated to Miramar, Florida, in 1970. However, they did not have an easy existence. When Johnny was just 15 years old, his parents divorced. That had a significant impact on his life. His mother then wed Robert Palmer, whom Johnny had previously referred to as an influence. This demonstrated his closeness to Palmer. When John was 12 years old, his mother handed him a guitar. Because of that gift, everything was different. He was a huge music lover. He wanted to be a rock star and joined bands right away. When he was 16, he left Miramar High School to pursue that goal. After just 2 weeks, he attempted to return, but the director forbade him. He instructed Johnny to follow his happiness, and he did. In 1980, Johnny became a member of a group known as the Kids. They wanted to try their luck in Los Angeles after having some success in Florida. They tried to secure a record deal and changed their name to Six Gun Method, but pursuing your aspirations isn't always simple. Johnny worked odd jobs like calling to make ends meet. In December 1983, he wed Lori and Allison, a makeup artist. He and her sister were members of a band. It was unfortunate that the marriage didn't last. His band disbanded before they could negotiate a contract, and by 1985 they were no longer together. But Johnny didn't give up. Even then, Johnny was notable for his music and his background. He also collaborated with a band named Rock City Angels and wrote the song, Mary. In addition to his French, German, and Irish ancestry, he was primarily English. He claimed that Elizabeth Key Jinstead, a member of his family, was among the first African Americans to be granted freedom in court. In addition, Johnny mentioned that his great-grandmother was Native American, either Creek or Cherokee. "It makes sense. I'm from Kentucky," he replied. Some, however, disagreed with that. According to Native American news outlets, Depp had never resided in a Native American hamlet. Several chiefs referred to him as a pretendian, a term used to describe someone who was not native but was attempting to pass for one. When Johnny portrayed a Native American in The Lone Ranger, some things grew more serious. Many people disliked the name of his band, Tonto's Giant Nuts. He was later adopted as an honorary son by Comanche Nation member Leodana Harris. However, that only made him a part of her family and not a member of any actual group. All of this was not the end of Johnny's journey. Actually, it was only getting started. Hollywood knocked Johnny travel to Los Angeles with his band when he was 20 years old. But after the band disbanded, his life took an odd turn. His ex-wife, Lori, introduced him to Nicolas Cage, the famous actor. After they became friends, Cage suggested that Johnny pursue acting because he sensed something in him. Johnny liked the idea of being an actor, but it wasn't his intention. James Dean had always been an inspiration to him. He claimed that reading about Dean and watching Rebel Without a Cause increased his interest in acting. Thanks to Cage, he was able to test out for filmmaker Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Despite Johnny's lack of theatrical experience, something clicked. After seeing Johnny, Craven's daughter convinced her father that he ought to be cast. Johnny earned his first role as the lover of the main character, who is killed by Freddy Krueger right there. Despite his statement that, "I didn't want to be an actor," Depp continued to land roles because they were profitable, something that music wasn't. He played a significant role in the 1985 sitcom Private Resort. He was then chosen to play the lead in the film Thrashin', but the director replaced him. Instead, he was given a minor role in Platoon by Oliver Stone as a Vietnamese private. However, he didn't get the role that made him famous until 1987. He played a policeman in 21 Jump Street as a spy. It was a television program about high school-age police officers. Because of the show, publications and teenage females adored him. However, Johnny? Not at all. He only accepted the role in order to collaborate with Frederick Forrest, but he disliked the publicity. He said that the show forced him to sell items, among other things. In other words, he didn't truly act from the heart and instead felt like he was being sold. Still, it was the beginning of something significant. Before becoming the bold and fashionable man we know today, Johnny was a shy young man with a guitar. Because of that guitar, he ended himself in Los Angeles, and after a band flopped, he turned to acting. Life can be humorous at times. His early work demonstrated the unexpected nature of stardom. In an instant, he went from selling pens on the phone to being featured on the cover of a magazine. But not Johnny. Whether it was his appearance, his role, or even his beliefs, he was always unique. He was reprimanded for claiming to be Native American, but this was because he valued that identity. He believed his family's statements to be accurate. He was relaying stories from his family, not lying, when he told the media, "I guess I have some Native Americans somewhere down the line." When he played Tonto in The Lone Ranger, however, things became worse because some people didn't agree. For some, it was impolite. They didn't like the band's name either. His adoption by Leodana Harris was viewed as a kind gesture, but it had no effect on the sentiments of Native leaders. He was obviously not one of them. But Johnny continued. His charm, his rebelliousness, and his natural talent made him stand out to Hollywood. His face and voice appeared in numerous films, ranging from serious to scary. Breaking free from the teen idol image, after becoming a teen idol on 21 Jump Street, Johnny Depp soon discovered that fame wasn't everything. Being viewed as merely a lovely face bothered him. He had a change of heart in the 1990s. Not just films that would bring in money, but also films that held personal significance for him. Cry Baby, 1990, a 1950s sitcom comedy, was among the first films he chose. After a few years, the film became a cult classic despite its initial poor box office performance. He portrayed the title character in Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands that same year. It was an odd but poignant film in which Depp portrayed a man with scissors for hands. To prepare and learn how to perform without speaking, Depp viewed Charlie Chaplin films. His show was praised by critics. He received his first Golden Globe nomination for the role, and biologists named an extinct animal Cutinacella deppi after it because its limbs resembled claws. "A terrific performance," one person observed. "He spoke through bright black eyes, and how he gently moved his sharp hands." Depp's unique parts were a testament to his skill. Over the following few years, he also starred in Don Juan DeMarco, Dead Man, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and Arizona Dream. He portrayed the odd filmmaker Ed Wood in another Tim Burton film in 1994. Each component was distinct, courageous, and perilous. But Depp wasn't afraid. He wasn't content to remain famous. He wanted to improve as an actor. He played a covert FBI agent alongside Al Pacino in the film Donnie Brasco. In Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he transformed into the insane writer Hunter S. Thompson. By the time he starred in The Ninth Gate in 1999, Depp had established a reputation for constantly thinking beyond the box. The TV show person with that name was no more. He was now among Hollywood's most intriguing celebrities. He wasn't finished yet, though. He received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that same year. At the beginning of the 2000s, Johnny Depp demonstrated that he could perform nearly anything on screen. He played notable roles, garnered accolades, and rose to fame. He had dark, passionate, melancholy, and humorous moments. He starred in Chocolate, a delectable crime film set in a tiny French hamlet, in 2000. Then, in 2001, he portrayed a drug thug in the film Blow. In the same year, he starred in the crime horror film From Hell. In 2003, Depp's role as Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl made him a global celebrity. A huge success. People enjoyed his oddness, humor, and unpredictability. Depp's contribution to the role was distinct. It was a total transformation, not only a performance. This was his first nomination for a Hollywood honor. He continued to write about a variety of subjects. He played a good-hearted father in Finding Neverland. He portrayed a lonely writer in Secret Window. Additionally, he played a sharpshooter in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Although each show was unique, they were all unforgettable. Depp and Tim Burton have collaborated on numerous projects together. They rose to prominence as one of Hollywood's most well-liked couples. Together, they created Sweeney Todd, Corpse Bride, Sleepy Hollow, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Depp's performance in Sweeney Todd earned him a Golden Globe. Then came Alice in Wonderland, which was a huge box office success as well. Additionally, he provided voices for animated films, such as Rango, 2011. In 2020, he portrayed a war cameraman in Minamata. He then portrayed real people in films such as Public Enemies and Black Massachusetts. He even portrayed the evil wizard Gellert Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts fantasy realm. In 2004, Depp founded his own film production firm, Infinitum Nihil. He takes action as well. In addition, he returned to music and formed the rock group Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. He didn't stick to one lane. Before he was crowned People's Sexiest Man Alive twice, people believed they had seen it all. Life Outside the Razzmatazz, Love, and Lost. Johnny Depp married young for the first time. He married Lori and Allison the night before Christmas 1983. She was 25, and he was only 20. In order to succeed as musicians, his bandmate and his sister, Lori I, moved to Los Angeles. With his band The Kids, Depp enjoyed considerable success. They even performed before the Ramones and Iggy Pop. However, Lori lost the ability to hear in one ear, so she had to quit listening to music. Her work as a makeup artist and her encounter with Nicolas Cage altered Johnny's life irrevocably. In 1986, they separated after just 2 years of marriage, yet they remained close. During Johnny Depp's legal battle with Amber Heard, Lori vocally supported him and kept using the Depp name in her professional life. In the late 1980s, Johnny was engaged to Sherilyn Fenn and Jennifer Grey, but their relationship didn't work out. He began dating Winona Ryder, who portrayed Edward Scissorhands, in 1990. In Hollywood, many individuals discussed them together. The words, "Winona Forever," were permanently inked on Johnny's arm. After they split up in 1993, he altered it to "Wino Forever." He then started dating model Kate Moss. They were together from 1994 to 1998. It appeared frequently in the news and was really severe. While they were both working on the ninth gate in 1998, Johnny got to know French singer and actress Vanessa Paradis. After falling in love, they had a peaceful life away from the bustle of Hollywood. Jack was born in 2002, while Lily Rose was born in 1999. "You can't plan the kind of deep love that leads to children," Depp famously stated. "Being a father wasn't something I chose. It was fate, a part of the amazing journey I was on." But after more than a decade of dating, Johnny and Vanessa called it quits in 2012. They never married but were courteous to one another. Even though they split up, Depp's idyllic period of life came to an end. What followed was everything from peaceful. A court case from a love story. Shortly after splitting from Vanessa Paradis, Johnny began dating actress Amber Heard. Together, they appeared in the Rum Diary. At first glance, it appeared to be just another Hollywood romance. But behind closed doors, things weren't going well. On February 3, 2015, the very basic wedding was held in a courthouse. Amber filed for divorce on May 23, 2016, just over a year later. She was also given a brief directive to avoid him. She claimed that during their relationship, Johnny had slapped her and cursed at her, generally while he was intoxicated or high. Nothing was true, according to Johnny. He claimed that Amber wished to fast in things and get away with money. It was widely reported. In August 2016, they reached a confidential agreement. The marriage ended in January of 2017. The two of them made a united statement when Amber revoked the protective order. They claimed that despite going through extremely trying and occasionally unstable times together, their love had kept them together. Additionally, they claimed that neither party had made any fraudulent allegations in order to obtain funds. As part of their divorce settlement, Depp awarded her $7 million. The entire sum was intended to be donated to charity, with a portion going to the Children's Hospital Los Angeles and the remainder to the American Civil Liberties Union. The story continued even if the marriage didn't last long. After several years, this court case became one of the most well-known and discussed in Hollywood history. Either way, that incident altered Johnny Depp's life and public perception. Depp versus Heard. Many believe that the saga of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard was ended when they got divorced in 2017. Everything changed when Amber wrote something in the Washington Post in December 2018. She didn't mention Depp by name, but it was obvious what she meant. She claimed to be an outspoken individual who opposed domestic abuse. She discussed the reactions she received after speaking out against sexual abuse. She claimed to have witnessed how establishments protected wealthy men. Johnny believed that his reputation and job were harmed by this story. He claimed that these claims were not only untrue, but also harmful. In February 2019, he accused Heard of defamatory remarks. According to Depp, the headline, Amber's assertion that she became a symbol of abuse 2 years ago, and her remarks regarding how society shields men who are accused of abuse were the three lies in the narrative. According to Johnny, he was the one who suffered in the partnership. He criticized the account for omitting crucial details, such as Pirates of the Caribbean, and said Amber's assertions were untrue. He believed his reputation and job were harmed by the opinion piece. Amber didn't remain silent. In August 2020, she filed a countersuit. Amber Heard, however, brought her own case. Adam Waldman, Johnny's attorney, was alleged to have initiated an attempt to discredit her. Amber's countersuit was based on 3 statements Waldman made to the Daily Mail in 2020, claiming that he utilized internet petitions and Twitter to get her sacked from L'Oreal and from films like Aquaman. In the first, Waldman claimed that Heard and her companions had made up tales of sexual assault. In the second, he claimed that in order to make it appear authentic, they staged a scene at an apartment and dialed 911. The third was a general declaration that the claims of abuse were untrue. Things worsened in October 2020. Due to his disclosure of confidential court material to the media, Waldman was dismissed from the case. Depp then lost a second action against the Sun tabloid in the UK in November. Because Heard wasn't present in the UK hearing, the judge denied his team's request to have his US case dismissed in Amber. In August 2021, a judge ordered the ACLU to provide them with details regarding the funds Amber had consented to donate. The already difficult battle became considerably more difficult as a result. Finally, in April 2022, the trial began in Virginia. The hearing in Depp versus Heard took place between April 11, 2022, and June 1, 2022. The courtroom became a stage, and the entire world watched. Each of them shared a story. When they were together, Johnny acted violently, according to Amber. She described instances in which he lost control due to drugs and alcohol. She claimed to be constantly afraid. Johnny's story was different. He claimed that the injury was to him. He described in detail how Amber would slap him, insult him, and cause him pain. Many people watched the trial like a soap opera, and it lasted for weeks. Videos, audio snippets, and testimonies were exhibited. Security personnel, employees, and even friends discussed what they had witnessed and the opinions of specialists. On June 1, 2022, the decision was made following 13 hours of discussion. According to the judges, Heard's opinion piece was completely untrue and had harmed Johnny's reputation. They also concurred that when she wrote them, she intended to hurt them. Johnny received $10 million in compensatory damages in addition to $5 million in criminal damages. However, Virginia law reduced the second figure to $350,000. Only one of Waldman's 3 remarks was deemed to be untrue and offensive in response to Heard's counterclaims. Depp was only had to reimburse her $2 million for her losses as a result. Johnny praised the judge, the jury, and his attorneys, adding, "The jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled." Depp and Heard later decided to break up, and he said, "I hope that my fight for the truth has helped others, and that those who are helping them never give up." The bargain wasn't a sign that they had lost, Amber insisted. The jury's verdict would stand, according to Depp's employees. Depp consented to donate the $1 million Amber paid him to a worthy cause. In this instance, the fight involved more than just 2 well-known individuals. It demonstrated to all how intensely personal suffering may turn into a public issue. This court case marked yet another turning point in Johnny Depp's life, which was full of them. After years of legal battles and negative publicity, Johnny Depp is finally making a comeback to the big screen. The most significant project he has worked on in a long time is Daysker, his most recent film. The film, which was directed by Mark Webb, stars Penelope Cruz. The 2 celebrities previously collaborated on the films Murder on the Orient Express, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, and Blow. According to IMDb, the film centers on a mystery stranger who befriends a bartender who had lost her spouse. As their friendship develops, their lives take unexpected turns. The story is full of emotions, secrets, and shocks. Lionsgate executive Adam Fogg's son expressed his excitement for the concept. Johnny's comeback was also felt at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, where he said, "Daydrinker combines a highly commercial concept with wildly outrageous twists and turns. There is no better filmmaker than Mark or 2 more perfectly cast actors than Johnny and Penelope." He was forthright about how his work had suffered as a result of his issues with his ex-wife. He inquired, "Did I feel blocked by Hollywood? You'd have to not have a pulse to feel like, no, none of this is happening. It's a weird joke, he continued. Being ordered to leave a movie because of words didn't seem reasonable. The first look that shocked everyone despite this, he stated, I don't feel boycotted by Hollywood because I don't think about Hollywood. Johnny Depp is making headlines again, but not due to a lawsuit. It's because he looks completely different in the first image from his new film, Day Drinker. Depp doesn't resemble himself at all. He is now 62, with silver hair, a smart blue suit, bright blue eyes, and a full gray beard. He has been observed resting against a bar, a drink in his hand, and a serene, contemplative expression on his face. Fans were astounded by what they saw when Lionsgate posted the image on social media. Some claimed that until they read the words, they were unaware that the photo was of Johnny. One fan noted, Johnny Depp absolutely rocking the silver fox look, along with numerous others. Another person commented, the gray looks great on him. People were astonished, delighted, and even moved when they saw this new Depp. Some said he reminded them of his previous portrayal as Gellert Grindelwald from Fantastic Beasts, while others joked, is this the story of the Stay Thirsty My Friends guy? This is sometimes referred to as Johnny's silver fox age. One fan commented, Grindelwald vibes. Another added, they never should have taken Grindelwald from us. Still another stated, I'm excited for the silver fox era of Johnny Depp. Everyone is obsessed with Johnny's new appearance, including the suit and beard. Fans are enamored. Day Drinker, his most recent film, is already being hailed as his biggest Hollywood comeback in years. The film was directed by Mark Webb and stars Penelope Cruz and Marlene Clean. This is Johnny's first major American film since his legal trial with Amber Heard ended in 2022. He previously starred in Jean Dubar, a French-language film. However, Day Drinker marks his comeback to mainstream English-language motion pictures. In the film, John Goodman portrays an enigmatic character who meets a depressed bartender on a cruise ship. According to the film's plot, they both end up in the criminal underworld after meeting. Because it's not simply a drama, but also an action film with a twist, fans are already thrilled. Day Drinker combines a highly commercial concept with wildly outrageous twists and turns. There is no better filmmaker than Mark, and Johnny and Penelope are the perfect actors for each other. The internet concurs, according to a statement from Lionsgate's Adam Fogson. However, it wasn't just acting that altered. The cosmetics crew was praised by fans as well. Shout out to the makeup department for the amazing transformation, a viewer said. Another commented, he could never play a part where the costume department didn't do half the work. With his silver hair, blue eyes, and gray beard, Johnny has entirely changed. That is a successful, bold look. Fans can't stop talking about his teeth even though everyone is admiring his gorgeous new appearance. Johnny Depp's startling new smile, with his deep eyes, black hair, and high cheekbones, Johnny Depp was the face of Hollywood in the early 1990s. Everyone's hearts were broken by him. He rarely smiled, but when he did, his teeth were healthy and white. He was a true star because of his abilities, charisma, and beautiful looks. But as time went on, things changed. It became evident that Depp enjoyed heavy drinking and smoking. He began to progressively lose his smile. When Premiere magazine interviewed him in 1995, he was pleased to report, I have a lot of cavities. I had a root canal 8 years ago. The work appeared to be a poor stub and was left incomplete. He seemed unconcerned. As his teeth deteriorated over time, he once remarked, I'm proud of these teeth. When I see people with perfect teeth, it drives me crazy. I'd rather swallow a tick than have that. Fans noticed that his smile had become discolored and yellowed during an Alice in Wonderland press conference in 2010. According to some, it appeared to have a milky coating. His constant smoking obviously did not help. In a recent interview, Depp made a joke about growing a second mouth only to smoke more. He also sported gold grills for his role in Pirates of the Caribbean. But even after the gunshots stopped, he kept them inside. "The problem is that every time I go to the dentist, they want to do a root canal or something terrible." He stated this in an interview with David Letterman, and most of the time, these choices resulted in their teeth looking awful. By 2023, Depp's teeth had gotten really terrible and dark. Social media went bananas when images of him smiling began to circulate. Online dentists expressed their opinions. Supporters were divided. "He looked stunning and got a 7-minute standing ovation at Cannes," one of Johnny's supporters shared. His appearance was ridiculed by others, particularly after it was claimed that his smile was too flawless in comparison to Amber Heard's. But Depp didn't say much, and perhaps he didn't have to. The situation swiftly altered. A fresh start. In 2024, Johnny started making changes. His hair was the first thing that caught on. Then his pals noticed his teeth, which were even stranger. He was seen working behind the bar at Lorraine's Cafe with a broad smile and bright teeth in a video from his Bahamas vacation. Internet users were shocked. Was Johnny Depp actually there? Yes, it was. News quickly spread that he had started a complete makeover, beginning with new teeth. According to a source, "This is the start of better things to come." They also said that he was improving his overall appearance, skin tone, and body. Johnny's smile, which had previously been a symptom of disintegration, was the talk of the town right then and there. However, that was the proper course of action. Fans were still discussing Johnny's beard and gray hair when he pulled another surprise. A picture was the topic of conversation. In a Spanish museum, he and Penelope Cruz snapped a photo of themselves. They decided to visit the famous Museo Reina Sofia while they were taking a break from filming Day Drinker. The image was shared on the main Instagram account of the institution. In front of a photograph, people noticed Johnny and Penelope grinning. They appeared relaxed and cool. Once more, fans went crazy. Someone commented, "He never gets old." Another added, "It's great to see Johnny looking healthier and more relaxed than he has in years." Still another said, "I can't believe how much younger he looks." Everyone was thrilled to see the two of them together again. According to one admirer, it even resembled a scene from the long-ago film Blow 2001. It was like seeing Jack Sparrow and Angelica Teach again, some joked. "It's an honor to see two such great artists surrounded by such an iconic painting. We love this duo," a fan commented. Fans were ecstatic to see Johnny Depp back on set, content, healthy, and dazzling in public once more. "Wow, just wow. So handsome, Johnny Depp." Johnny no longer dwells on the past events that occurred. He's moving forward with Day Drinker on his own terms and accepting things as they come. His followers are aware of his transformation. He appears more composed. He appears to have better sight. He's enjoying himself, taking selfies, and accepting fulfilling new employment. This is referred to as Johnny's glow up, due to the energy he exudes as well as his appearance. It's evident that Johnny Depp is back and enjoying every second of his upcoming film, Day Drinker. What would you think of Johnny Depp's new appearance if you met him again? Do you enjoy Silver Fox's time? Do you want to see Johnny Depp in a different light? To accomplish that alone, would you watch Day Drinker? What are your thoughts? Please leave a comment below, remember to like and subscribe, and check back soon for more incredible tales from Hollywood's past. Enjoy your journey.